We have with us Sindhu Gangadharan, Managing Director of SAP Labs India. She's also the chairperson of industry body Nasscom. Sindhu, many thanks for speaking to PTI. It is wonderful to have you with us again.
Great to have PTI back, and Momita, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, and welcome back to Labs India.
Sindhu, you're the new chairperson of IT industry body Nasscom, and I wanted to ask you, we are winding down calendar year 2024 onto the next year now. What are the big mega trends that will shape 2025? How do you see the tech budgets and tech spends next year?
What clearly is the North Star is the fact that you don't embrace technology, you've lost it, right? And that is a clear sign, and I think also post-COVID, literally everybody has acknowledged that fact, no matter what the size of the business is. And today, for us as SAP, I mean, we work with customers on all sizes, right? In fact, 80% of our customer base is small and mid-sized customers. And so it's very clear that in terms of tech waves, I mean, of course, we have waves around AI and all of that, but the writing is on the wall. If you want to stay relevant, then you really need to embrace technology, make it your friend, really stay ahead of the curve, and there's no way around it. And really you have to also, the second piece is partnerships. I think it's super important in today's world that we build those very strong partnerships, because it's only together that we can drive the bigger changes, be it in some of the bigger challenges that the world is grappling with, right? So I think 2025 for me is definitely going to be a lot more of technology adoption and a lot more of strategic partnerships.
So you don't see any pruning of tech budgets or tech spends for 2025?
Well, see, CIOs will always be focused on cost and how the budget spends will happen. But I think when it comes to tech spends, everybody understands there's no way around it. The faster you do it and get around it, it's better for the business. And I think the smart ones will absolutely make those decisions, and there's no doubt about that. That's what we are seeing all over the place.
Sindhu, Christian Klein earlier today talked about how SAP is going to over-proportionately invest in hire in India, and that I thought was very interesting. For the coming years, when you look at the India market, both from a revenue perspective, I think he mentioned that India is amongst the top 10. Globally for SAP, and from a labs perspective as well, R&D perspective as well, India is a very strategic R&D hub for you. Could you talk about the growth and the roadmap from both these perspectives? India as a market, India as a base for engineers.
Yeah. So if you just look at the market opportunity that exists, right? I mean, today 9 out of the 10 cars that run on India's roads are manufactured by SAP's customers. So just to put a little bit of color into it, right? 60% of India's GDP touches an SAP system. 70% of corporate taxes of India goes through an SAP system. So that's the power of the market opportunity that is existing here. And today, very similar to like back in our headquarters, India is also a phenomenal market when it comes to the small and medium-sized enterprises. So we have a dedicated intervention in going behind the SMEs to really help them drive their transformation journeys with the power of the cloud. And now with S4 Public Cloud, we have a phenomenal opportunity to help our customers in the 25 plus industries that we support, really help them drive the transformation and with the power of AI. Now, on the R&D side as well, that growth is seen because when we look at the scale of the portfolio that we support, this is the only location of SAP where we have the entire breadth of our product portfolio. And this continues to grow. To put concretely, as we speak, we also have our second campus coming up in Bangalore. And that will be a campus where the target is that we'll have 15,000 plus, right? And like our executive board member Mohammed said, it's not, it's an and story, right? It's this campus plus that. And that clearly also shows how we have been growing in India and how we will continue to grow in India. And our focus will be also on building up that AI skills in the teams, because a lot of the work that we'll be doing is also about infusing AI into the core of our portfolio, and that a lot of that work, in fact, 80% of the AI infusion of Joule. Joule is our digital assistant for the enterprise. 80% of that core innovation work is happening in this location. So to give you a little bit of color in terms of the percentage of growth.
How is SAP Labs set to grow in India? It is the fastest growing labs for you globally. It is also the fastest, it is also the biggest outside of Germany right now. But at some point of time, your CEO indicated that this could well be the biggest base for you. Could you just talk briefly about that as well?
Yeah, indeed. I mean, if I just look back at over the years, we've been growing at every year on an average, it's about 2,500 to 3,000 net new hires, right? So if we only see the growth happening in that pace or even more, because if you just look at the portfolio growth in the location, we are of course in Bangalore, but we are also in 4 other locations, in Gurgaon, in Pune, in Mumbai, as well as in Hyderabad, because for us it's super important that we are able to tap into the best-in-class talent. We are also able to tap into those areas where we can closely work with our customers, and most importantly also the ecosystem. And so it's the growth, what you're talking about, is also is in proportion to the market opportunity that exists, the ecosystem opportunity that exists, the kind of co-innovation that we are driving in this location, together with our partners, together with the startups. Also, many times it's also about deep research with the academia. It's really all of this that is driving the growth.
Sindhu, how important, how big a growth driver will AI and Gen AI be, for SAP products as you infuse more of emerging technologies into your offerings? Also, how do you see India's position in the global AI race?
Yeah, today it's really, it's the Stanford AI Index report. If you just look at that, right? I mean, India is number 1 when it comes to AI skills penetration. We're number 1 when it comes to AI talent concentration, right? So, and 16% of the world's AI talent is located here in India. And for us as SAP, that becomes a super important imperative to continue to invest in our AI growth right here in this location. And even if I just look at our portfolio of how we have infused AI across our lines of business, we are completely changing how users interact with core business processes. We have now Joule, who is our digital assistant, and Joule really transforms the experience of how you interact with business processes. And a lot of that work, in fact, 80% of that work is happening here. And we'll continue to build those capabilities. In fact, today, if I just look at the numbers, 50% of our talent is already AI skills ready, right? And so for us, it's a continuous investment into our workforce to make sure that, because technologies are changing so fast. So it's not that you say you're ready and you're ready for the next 2 years. No, that's a continuum, right? So we have a lot of different dedicated interventions that we have put into place to make sure that also the talent that we hire is AI skills ready, but also our existing talent has all the capabilities that they need to drive those innovations into the portfolio.
What are the big bets for SAP in India for the coming years? What is the runway for growth? And in your leadership role, what kind of outcomes are you going to be targeting?
Well, I think for me, concretely, the focus is really about driving innovation. And I'm very proud about the fact that 25% of the patents that come out of SAP globally come out of this location. So keeping that high innovation focus and really building that cutting edge innovations into our portfolio of products and also our technology, the business technology platform, that is definitely going to be front and center and continues to be front and center. The second thing which is very unique here, Momita, is definitely the power of the ecosystem. And so if you just look at a day in the life of an engineer here, then she's not sitting and only writing code, but she's interacting with customers, with partners, really looking at how do we co-innovate, how do we co-create, right? And building that bridges between the academia, the startups, the partners, the customers is definitely front and center. We coined this as this One SAP initiative, which is also very, very key to us. And the third piece, if I may, Will, is really also about looking at our portfolio that help drive areas like sustainability. I mean, if I just look at how we have infused AI into the SAP Sustainability Control Tower, today you can generate ESG reports at the click of a button, right? And solutions like this not only help our customers, but really help in driving some of the large challenges that the world is facing, right? And climate change is a big topic. Or if I just look at areas like supply chain resiliency, again, a big topic for the world at large. And building solutions for these very specific areas is something that we are very passionate about here.
Sindhu, I think the big question on people's mind is, will AI take away my job? And I've been asking that to almost all industry leaders. This is a big topic of debate. I think people are trying to still figure it out. So, just that big question over to you. Will AI lead to
I
layoffs?
see it completely differently, right? I mean, I always tell people, you have to embrace technology, because we have seen a lot of these waves of technology. Currently, it's AI. Tomorrow, it will be quantum. But what is super important is the mindset in people to adapt, to learn, to understand, and apply, right? I mean, I also say this, knowledge is only power when you apply the knowledge. And so same goes to all this discussion around displacement of jobs and all of that. It's very important that people understand this is a phenomenal transformational technology, which now you have the power to use, and power to use it in a very safe, regulated, governed way. So really leveraging that technology to help amplify your skills is how I would look at it. Like, for example, given that we have the largest R&D here, right? Developer productivity is a big topic for us. We're clearly seeing how can AI today help our developers, even if they are writing ABAP code, how can they get even more productive? So it's not about displacement of jobs, but it's actually leveraging the jobs to get even more productive.
Sindhu, I wanted to ask you, in your leadership role at Nasscom, US, of course, is a big strategic market for India. We have seen a lot of partnerships, collaborations. It's a big export market, the biggest export market for software services from India. As chairperson of Nasscom, what are the key asks of the Indian IT industry from US?
I think the whole topic of partnerships definitely play. Today, when we look at some of the large language models that is pervasive all through, many of them come from the United States, right? So it would be very important that we understand better how these models are being put into action in the various use cases that we have here in India as well. So definitely, the AI mission in India is definitely a big area of focus. But I think skilling as well, I think we've talked about that big time. And really having that readiness when it comes to be the product nation for the world is a huge area of focus. And the third piece I'd say is, again, going back to my favorite, which is partnerships, right? And having that dedicated focus on that is definitely going to be a topic.
So you see more synergies, enhanced cooperations as a new precedent comes in the US?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because they will need it.
Sindhu, it was wonderful speaking to you. Many thanks for speaking to PTI.